Just when you think the A's have turned a corner, they get snake bit again. After a fine start by Jesse Hahn, Bob Melvin and the boys took a commanding lead on the White Sox last night. But once again, the defense and the bullpen faltered, giving up a 4-run lead in the 7th. In the bottom of the 9th, in typical Green League old-fashioned, they came storming back only to come up 90 feet short. Tonight, it's another Jesse to the hill. He will look to weather the storm and get this 2015 season headed in the right direction. Game 2, A's White Sox, next. It is superhero fireworks night at the Coliseum. A big crowd is expected on a Saturday night at the O.co. Pitching matchup, the lefty John Danks for the White Sox, and for the Athletics, the right-hander Jesse Chavez. A's trying to get rolling as we get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series. White Sox Athletics coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Eric Chavez, I'm Glenn Kuiper. So Jesse Chavez making his 5th start. And, you know, we're always impressed with Jesse, Eric, because he really has good stuff. And you're always curious, how would he do in a full season? But so far, so good for Jesse Chavez.
Yeah, he's got electric stuff. I mean, you talk to the hitters, they say the ball just jumps out of his hand. And he's got 5 quality pitches. And back that up with a fastball, a curveball, slider, change. And he just has real 5 dominant pitches that he can go to at any time.
Well, let's hope they're all working tonight. And again, he will be opposed by the lefty John Danks. Now, White Sox are starting to score runs, something they hadn't done in the early part of the season. But it's the middle of that lineup. Yeah. And if you look at 2, 3, 4, and 5, these are really, really good hitters. And you saw it last night.
Yeah, they came and did some damage late in the ball game last night. And don't forget about the young center fielder Adam Eaton. He gets on base ahead of these guys like he did last night. He beat out that double play, and these guys did all the damage to score the runs late.
And they did. And the 7th inning was obviously the difference in the game. And that is the hit right there that gave the White Sox the lead, Aviseo Garcia. So hanging breaking ball. And we showed last night that these guys can do some damage, and they're starting to swing it. So something the A's will have to be careful with tonight. A's have lost 8 out of 9, and they need to stop this thing and get some wins going right now. So when we come back, we'll have lineups and first pitch from the Coliseum. Big crowd on hand. The fans are having a good time, and they're about ready to head inside. We'll have lineups and first pitch in just a moment.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
Well, we're going for good luck tonight. Stephen Vogt, the starting catcher, takes out the lineup card for the Athletics. You got to change it up till you get it right, Shabby?
Desperate times, desperate measures.
That's right. We think that could be the difference. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is kicking off summer this Saturday with free performances by Circus of Nations. 60 degrees, about like last night, although we have a earlier start tonight, 1 hour earlier. And it is superhero night with the superhero fireworks coming up after the ball game. So it should be a nice crowd tonight. Does not look like it's going to be a sellout, but it'll be a nice crowd nonetheless. Let's look at the lineup tonight for the White Sox. Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu, LaRoche, Garcia, Gillespie, Ramirez, Flowers, and Sanchez.
Jesse Chavez going for the A's tonight, looking for his second victory of the year. Jesse's been throwing the ball really good. He took the loss last time out against Seattle. He's got a fastball, cutter, slider, changeup, curveball. All 5 pitches are plus pitches, and he'll be looking to get the A's into the deep into the ball game tonight.
The defense behind Jesse Chavez, he's wearing green tops tonight. Here is that defense. Crisp in left, Burns in center, Reddick in right. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, Canna around the infield third to first. And Stephen Vogt will do the catching. So we're set for baseball on a Saturday night. White Sox come in 15 and 17. They've won 5 out of 6. A's are 13 and 24. They've lost 8 out of 9. So A's will try to put a halt to a tough stretch of baseball. So Adam Eaton, the speedy center fielder, steps in. First pitch of the ball game is a fastball that's low. Eaton hitting .226, no home runs and 2 RBIs. Good night last night for Eaton. Couple of hits. Got a double, and he scored a couple of runs. So he did his thing from the leadoff spot. Eaton, a good bunter, lots of speed. And now 3-0. Eaton very important to this White Sox lineup, obviously as the leadoff hitter, but they've got some very good hitters coming up right after him. We talked about those guys in the open of our show. Cabrera, Abreu, LaRoche, Garcia. Strike called, 3-1. Another strike, so full count. Scott Berry calling balls and strikes. Barrett at first, Conroy at second. Hernandez is at third. 3-2 pitch on the outside corner, strike 3 call. So Adam Eaton goes back to chat with Scott Berry.
Yeah, there was a couple pitches that got back that Adam kind of didn't like, and that one seemed to have run off the plate just a little bit. But the A's got the call. That's a good thing. Keep eating off the bags in front of these big hitters coming up.
So 1 out. Here's Melky Cabrera. Cabrera, big bouncer. Canna backs up to get a good hop. So that's the second out. Canna had to take a step out onto the outfield grass to get that nice big hop.
Batting in the third position, first baseman, number 79.
That's so nice for a pitcher. You go full count to the first hitter. The next guy comes up, swings at the first pitch, 1 pitch out. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Jose Abreu steps in. Big, powerful right-handed hitter. of has hit the target, but a little bit outside. 289, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs for Abreu. He was 1 for 3 last night. He was hit by a pitch twice, and he scored a couple of runs. And there's a line drive to center field, and that's a base hit. So a 2-0 pitch. Abreu lines it into center.
Jesse kind of falling behind the hitters early in the count. Has to come over the middle of the plate, and Abreu does a nice job of staying inside. And that's what makes him such a dangerous hitter. He's a power hitter, but doesn't try to do too much at the plate.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Looks like that pitch jammed Abreu a little bit, but didn't seem to bother him. Here's Adam LaRoche. In for a strike. LaRoche hitting .238. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. A huge hit in last night's game. 2-run double off of Abad. Abad came in to face the left-handed hitter. Sogard takes care of LaRoche, and there's a hit, and there's a runner left. That's it for the White Sox. A's coming to bat against the lefty veteran John Danks. Lineup. It starts with the speedy one, Billy Burns, then Simeon, Reddick, Buckham, Folt, Laurie, Crisp. See Coco Crisp dropping down to the 7th spot. You don't see that very often. And then Canna and Sogard round out the A's lineup.
The A's will be facing the 30-year-old John Danks, going into his 9th season with the White Sox. Currently, he's a 1-3 with a 5.12 ERA. Features a sinker, a changeup, a slider, and his best pitch is that changeup.
So the veteran, 30-year-old John Danks. First pitch, fastball in for a strike. Facing Burns, hitting .292. Burns 14 hits in 48 at bats. He's got a couple of doubles. And there's the changeup from Danks, 80 miles an hour.
And Johnny's been working on this hybrid windup, kind of a half stretch, half windup delivery, and he's been doing it over. And he quick pitches.
All right, so I'm not losing my mind. I watched it and I said, you know what? That's different than what he used to do.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks he's kind of incorporated it, trying to just change it up a little bit, get a different feel, and his last outing was pretty successful with it.
And another changeup, and that's a swing and a miss. So Burns strikes out. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. White Sox defense has Cabrera, Eaton, Garcia in the outfield. Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, Abreu on the infield with Tyler Flowers doing the catching tonight. Semien, who takes fastball strike.
You know, you're talking about Coco being down in the lineup. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, trying to get him going. Just put him different look, different place in the lineup.
And Bob Melvin said when he starts rolling, and he will soon, then we will put him back in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, we all know what Coco's capable of doing. You can see this hybrid kind of starts off with a stretch and then works his way into halfway into a windup.
Well, it did work in his last start. His last start against the Reds on the 10th of May was his best start of the year. 7 innings, just 1 run and 4 strikeouts for Danks. That one cued, first base line, and Semien says thank you very much. I'm going to have a base hit. So Danks, being a left-hander, did what most left-handers do. They fall off to the third base side of the mound, and that helps Semien a lot.
Yeah, this ball was just in no man's land. Semien's speed was really the key to this whole thing. Got out of the box good, and there was just nothing the White Sox defense could do about that.
I mean, if you look where Danks, where they land, and then to get back to where they need to be, it's really 2 full steps.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no chance for him. That ball was just putting right in the right spot.
So Semien with another hit. Semien now with 45 hits on the year. That's 10th best in the American League. First pitch to Reddick, down and away. Reddick hitting .339, 6 homers, 28 RBIs. He had a good ball game last night. 2 for 4, a double, a triple, and the bases clearing triple. Good fastball there, right at the knees. See where he lands, Eric? I mean, that's a full step.
Yeah.
And then to turn around and head to first base, it's going to take 2 steps to make up for what you lost.
You can see right away Danks got a better move than Rodon did last night. He's more of a reader, controls the running game, where last night the pitches were called from the catcher to throw over to first base.
So when you say reader, you basically mean he being the pitcher is the one who's looking at the runner and deciding whether he's going to throw it.
He decides he's going to have a feel for it, and obviously going into his 9th season, Johnny's got a real good feel about controlling the running game and does a real good job with it. So he's going to slide step, he's going to quick pitch you. You know, as you get older in age, you start reinventing the game a little bit, and you can see that with his windup and the way he holds the runners on.
Reddick skies one in the air, shallow left. Cabrera coming in, still coming in, and now he makes the catch. Semien heads back to first. So 2 away for Butler. Danks, he is indeed a veteran. It's his 9th year in the big leagues, but only 30 years old. And a career record of 73 and 88.
Yeah, he's coming off. He's had a couple injuries that he's been dealing with, and his velocity's been up the last couple starts. He actually touched 93, and about the last year and a half, he's actually been sitting about 88, 89 miles an hour. So that's a good sign for the White Sox getting that velocity back. It tells you that he's healthy.
Danks was a first-round draft pick of the Texas Rangers right back in 2003. It's a very high pick. It was the 9th pick in the draft. Never got to the big leagues with the Rangers. He was traded to the White Sox in 2006, and that was part of the Brandon McCarthy trade. And then he got his shot with the White Sox. That one's hit in the air, deep right center field. Garcia on the move. He's not going to get it, and that is gone. Butler goes to right center, and the A's lead 2-0. Just kept going.
That's exactly what the A's needed after that disappointing loss last night. Come back early, put some runs on the board, and Billy, good piece of hit and driving the ball out the other way. Pretty impressive.
First pitch to Vogt is a strike. That's the 6th home run Danks has allowed in 32 1/3 innings, and that's a lot. So Billy Butler now 4 home runs and 20 RBIs on the year.
Scott behind the plate. Scott Berry behind the plate's got a favorable zone to the pitcher early on in this game.
Didn't seem to bother Butler, though, and that's a good thing. 2-2 pitch. Vogt swings and misses. Side retired. Billy Butler, home run number 4, a 2-run shot. So after 1 from the Coliseum, Billy Butler and the A's have a 2-0 lead. Air by Laurie kind of opened things up, and then a few batters later, kind of a strange play. Laurie went after this ball and then stopped, and when you looked at it again, it looked like he had a chance to make the play.
Yeah, at least make a diving attempt at it. And I just wonder if he forgot where Semien was. Eaton was running on the play, so Semien went over to cover the bag, and he kind of broke left and kind of peeked over there. Maybe thought Semien was there, but
Semien talked after the play.
Yeah.
So it was an odd play, but it also was the air really got that inning started that the White Sox came back. So
yeah, not a good inning, but we know Brett plays hard. He's not afraid to get dirty, so that's why something had to have happened to where it just kind of threw him off a little bit. But the air, he knows he should have made that play. And when you're going bad, those things kind of come back to haunt you. And the way the A's are going right now, everything they do wrong, the other team's making them pay for it.
Now, last night was a perfect example of that. Inside to Avisail Garcia, hitting .320, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. He had a big hit last night. A 2-run double that gave the White Sox the lead in that 7th inning. He shoots this one to right center, and that's going to get down for a hit. Reddick cuts it off, juggles a little bit. Garcia's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it.
That's pretty impressive for a big guy.
He's got pretty good speed.
I mean, out of the box, he's busting hard. And
in the 6th position,
when this ball was bobbled, that's what gave him the opportunity to even get there. Josh has trouble with it a little bit, but the fact that Avisail was running hard from the get-go is what gave him the opportunity to be in position to get the second on that. So this kid's coming into his own right now. He just plays hard. Big kid, good arm, makes all the plays in right field. You can see why the White Sox are very excited about him.
So here's Gillespie, leadoff double for Garcia. Gillespie fouls it back. Last night the White Sox had 7 runs on 9 hits. 3 of those 9 hits were doubles. So they're starting to swing the bats. They've scored 34 runs in their last 6 games, and they've won 5 out of those 6. So slowly but surely these guys are starting to hit. And I don't think anybody's really surprised by that.
Yeah, and what they're doing, they're staying around 500, and that always gives you an opportunity to win. I always talk about getting on these winning streaks and being able to win 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row. And when you hover around 500, that's what kind of gets you back into the race. And you know, I think right now the A's need to set their sights on 500 as a goal. Let's get to 500 and give themselves something to play for.
0-2 to Gillespie with Alexi Ramirez to follow. Fouled straight back. It's hard to do anything until you get to 500.
You got to be.
It's just,
yeah, you got to be around 500. And you know, in the years that I was here, we never really ever got off to a really good start. We made things really difficult all the time, kind of like the A's are doing this year. But you know, the only good thing about that is there's plenty of time to get on a run and get back in this thing. So, but right now they got to keep their eyes on 500. Start playing good baseball right now. Clean up the errors, clean up the bullpen. They've been scoring enough runs to do it.
Right now the A's are 13-24. So 11 games under 500. Jesse Hahn pitched decent last night.
No, he did a good job. He struggled early, came back and really shut the door for about 5-6 innings. So
he thought he had a pretty good chance to get a win. Two. Fastball low. Outfield plays Gillespie to pull. Burns sliding over. Inside, and that one's hit into right field, and that's a base hit. Reddick picks it up, and they're going to hold Garcia, who runs right through the stop sign. Now he's got to hustle back, and now he's in a rundown, and he's tagged out. Garcia screwed that up a couple different ways. He ran through the stop sign, and then when he finally did stop, he had time to get back, and he started to go back and then stopped.
Well, isn't this an ironic play to be talking about right now? Josh gets the ball.
See, right here,
good throw, yeah.
He's got time to go back, but he just stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, big mistake there. Miscommunication with the third base, Joe McEwing. And he's running hard, and, you know, Joe's in his ear. He finally picks him up at the last second, but by then it's too late.
He's a great shot by our camera guys. You could see him coming to third, rounding third, and his head was down.
Yeah, and he was going. He had his mind made up. He was going to score. Yeah.
So, very interesting play. But the A's get a big out.
Yeah, that's huge.
You see his head was down. I mean, he never looked at Joe McEwing.
Yeah, and with nobody out there, the last thing you want to do is have an out at home plate. But Joe was holding him up the whole time.
Yes,
that wasn't his fault right there.
But it doesn't do much good if you're not looking at him.
No.
2-0 now to Alexi Ramirez.
That's just a young mistake. I mean, you can't fault the guy for the effort, but you got to know the situation. It's early in the game. You got to rally going. Should be second and third with nobody out right now, and really change his inning around.
Off the end of the bat, so the count 2-1. Gillespie did go to second. But that is kind of ironic. You see that play after what happened last night to end the game, which we got a lot of discussion about that.
Yeah.
And Eric, you may have said it best talking to some of the White Sox people, is that really Jose Abreu, who made the cutoff right around home plate, Abreu the first base, or right around the pitcher's mound, but take a closer look, and we think that the throw from Alexi Ramirez toward home plate that was cut off was way offline.
Yeah, it was a bad throw is what it happened to be.
And then maybe if it was a throw that was online, Abreu may not have been in a spot to catch it.
Yeah, and you may say Abreu's job is to trail Coco here rounding first, but when there's a play at home plate late in the game, and you know all the action's going to be at home plate, what he did is he floated over towards the mound, and then you can see that throw had a little bit of cut to it, and Abreu just happened to be at the right spot at the right time. And give him credit for kind of floating over there.
Sogard comes in, and he throws out Ramirez for the second out. So here's that relay, and again,
the ball bounces right to Eden, makes a great throw.
Now this is the throw right here that was way offline.
Yeah.
Look at where he catches it.
Yeah, look at the catcher.
It was well up the first base line.
Yeah, and when I was watching that play last night, I thought maybe it was by design, but it was not. And Abreu just happened to instinctively kind of float to where the action was going to be at home plate, where it should have been.
So a good play by Abreu, not necessarily a planned cutoff, have a guy right there, but he didn't have a lot else to do.
No.
So he made himself available.
Absolutely. And that was just a pull throw by Alexi there, way off target. And
so a crazy play indeed. So 1-1 to Tyler Flowers. Swing and a miss. Fastball by him.
Yeah, and you can see Alexi's eyes are right at home plate, and he just pulls.
See, look at that.
The catcher's going to the right, and he was actually, I thought he was closer towards the grass. He was right over the mound. Just a good play. I mean, this guy, clubhouse leader, hits in the middle of the lineup, doesn't try to do too much. Does a good first base, good influence.
Very close, 3-2, 95 miles an hour from Jesse Chavez, trying to strand Gillespie at third. Pitch, got him swinging. Second strikeout for Jesse Chavez, and the White Sox do not score, even though they had a single and a double in the inning. Bottom of the second coming up. 2-0 A's.
Fans will receive a pair of A's branded mustache socks driven by Chevrolet. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
2-0 the A's lead thanks to a Butler home run in the first. Laurie takes a big rip, fouls straight back. Laurie, Crisp, and Canna here at the bottom of the second inning.
He's got to be feeling pretty fortunate about getting out of that inning without no runs.
Yep. That's a fair ball, and it goes under the glove of Glasby down the left field line. So Laurie will get to second, stop there, and a good start for the A's. Right under the glove of Glasby, and it was just fair. Very close.
Yeah, Danks tries to go with a curveball or a slurve there, and Brett took a good pack on the fastball first pitch and was able to put this one right by Gillespie down the third baseline. And that's a ball, even if you can't make a play on it, you got to want to knock it down and keep him from getting from second base right there. See if the A's can take advantage of it.
So here's Coco. Coco bunts and foul, trying to get that runner over.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why he's going to first base with that. He should be going to third base, pulling the third baseman, and Brett could walk to third. So
you want to get the third baseman into the play by making him field it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he bunts that hard to Abreu, you can see Abreu's in on grass. If he bunts it hard, he's going to have an opportunity to throw Brett at third. So
if you make Gillespie field it, that means
nobody's at third.
No play at
Nobody's
third.
at third.
Strike, and now it's 0-2.
This is, you could see early on in this game some of the stuff that just needs to be cleaned up. Just not very clean baseball. Base running, simple stuff, catching the ball, throwing the ball, knowing where to put down the bunt.
And isn't it amazing how in an 0-2 pitch, Coco strikes out, so he cannot get the runner over. It's amazing how those things, as little as they may seem, always end up costing them.
Always in the long run, because you just want to play good baseball throughout the season. You know, the pitchers, you want them to throw strikes. The hitters, you want them to swing at strikes. You want to make the game as simple as possible. And it's a tough game. I'm not saying that it isn't, but try to work on the basics. Concentrate on the basics.
So here's Mark Canha. Canha hitting .233, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's in a slump. 2 for his last 29. Missed again now, 2-0. Sogard to follow. He's trying to add on early. So now it's 3-0. Lefties hitting .200 against Danks. Righties hitting .347. So it's not pitched well on the road in the early going. He's knocked around in 3 road starts. Is ready, 3-1 with Laurie. Good lead at second. And there's the walk. His first walk issued by Danks. There's his breakdown. Lots of changeups. 28% changeups.
Batting in the 9th position.
Clearly one of the highest numbers we've seen on the pitch usage charts that we show. For a changeup, that is. And I would guess that, as most lefties, they like to use it against right-handed hitters.
Yeah, it's a very good pitch for him, and it looks like a fastball coming out with arm action and his motion and delivery. Just has good action down in the strike zone.
First pitch to Sogard, sinking fastball for a strike. Were you shocked if a left-handed pitcher threw you a changeup?
Yeah, it was definitely a pitch I never looked for. You know, very few of them, maybe Johan Santana. Yeah. You know, very few lefties that were comfortable doing it.
But it just was not something you would ever look for.
No, I never looked for it. I mean, even if they did it, it was a waste pitch or not something I wanted to look for and do damage with. So.
Rolled foul. Jamie Moyer used to do that too. I mean, he just threw it to everybody. It didn't matter any count.
He was one of the few guys that pitched like that I had success against. I mean, I always felt good when I knew what the pitcher was trying to do and where he was trying to go with it. And Jamie was always low in the zone, so I'd always look there and just try to get underneath it and drive it.
I've heard a lot of veteran hitters say they would rather face a veteran pitcher who's really good than a young pitcher that they've never faced who's average.
Yeah,
because they just know what the guy's trying to do and they know what kind of stuff he has.
Yeah, that's half the battle. You know, location, his put away pitch, what he wants to get ahead with.
And a fastball, and Sogard took it, and it was right there for a strike.
After a couple off-speed pitches, I think Eric's looking off-speed, and he kind of paints away. And Flowers does a nice job of framing. He kind of turns his body, tilts that glove in over the plate, and gives the appearance that it's right there.
So 4 strikeouts for Danks. And now Burns steps in, trying to knock home a run. Burns does not have an RBI this year. This one is hooked foul out in front.
Yeah, these when you're going bad, these are the little things that hurt you. Ace had plenty more opportunities last night to score at least 9 or 10
base runners
all over the place. So and we're not talking about getting hits and doing damage. We're talking about productive at bats, productive outs, moving the runner, getting the runner in, stuff that the A's aren't doing right now.
Foul. Yeah, the A's received 8 walks last night. And remember, 3 of them scored on that Reddick triple.
Yep.
But what it does is it just means that they had a whole host of base runners, and you keep turning your lineup over.
Yeah. The whole night they had opportunities.
Barnes again fouls back. You know, both starting pitchers have thrown quite a few pitches in the first couple innings of this game. 37 for Danks. And that almost hit Burns. So 1-2 the count. Outfield playing very shallow, especially Garcia in right field. Foul back. So good battle by Burns. Garcia is playing about as shallow as you'll see a right fielder. Almost surprised at how deep Melky Cabrera's playing.
Yeah, there's 3+ arms in that outfield too. So
Pop-up headed right over top of the White Sox dugout, and a fan made a nice play. He had to lean over the dugout a little bit, hauled it in. He's a hero, front row hero. Another 1-2 to Burns, and another foul ball. Swinging back to the screen. Whatever happens, Burns is doing his job. Fouled off 6 pitches.
Brett's doing a good job of getting a good secondary from second. Those good arms.
And that one rolled foul. Burns checks the end of his bat. Looks like he hit it right off the end.
As a base runner, if you see that pitch when it leaves his hand and it looks like it appears it's going to be in the zone, you don't have to wait for the hitter to swing. If it looks like it's going to be in the zone with 2 strikes, you take off right away. And it looks like Brett's doing a really good job of that.
He's dancing way off. The pitch is outside. So 2-2 the count. Sanchez trying to hold him a little bit, but with 2 outs, generally the middle infielders do not hold the runners a whole lot.
If this ball's hit the right field, it's going to be tough to score. He's got a cannon going on.
This one popped up. Could be playable for Abreu. It will be. He reaches up, makes the catch. Foul territory. A's strand 2. So we're moving to the 3rd inning. It's the A's 2 and the White Sox nothing. so far. Jesse Chavez back to work. He'll face Sanchez, Eaton, and Cabrera. 9-1-2 for the White Sox. First pitch to the switch hitting second baseman, who's 3 for 7 on this season. Well in on the grass, a couple steps. White Sox still last in the American League in runs scored. It's hard to believe that, even though they are starting to hit, they're last in runs, last in home runs, and last in stolen bases.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that's going to stay that way.
No, that's going to change. And Chicago's a very good hitter's park.
Well, yeah, you say that because you hit one like 500 feet there. It's the longest one. We think it's the longest one.
I say that because the numbers tell you that.
People buying food in the concession stands above the seats were. Hey, they were in danger.
Handing out souvenirs.
Right. Down the left field line. Coco hustling over, cannot quite get it. We got it.
You guys left.
How about that? It's our true story brought to you by McDonald's, and there it is. August or April 26th of 2001. See the walkway there? That's where you concourse. You can walk around, get your food, and those people were in trouble. So it went over them off that back wall.
Hitter-friendly park.
Too modest. Now, according to the White Sox, which we're going to totally disagree with, it was the second longest home run hit at that park, 490 feet. Joe Borchard hit the longest. It was 502 feet at August 30th, 2004. So they're saying Borchard's home run was 12 feet further than yours.
Well, congratulations, Joe.
We're not buying it. It's a homer call. Borchard with the White Sox. So I just... I'm just going to give it to you.
I'll take it. Yeah. The wind was blowing out.
Was it a little bit?
Yeah.
Which it can do in that park.
Yes. Both Chicago parks.
0-2 to the leadoff man Eaton, who struck out looking in the first. Did not agree with the call. His second at bat, he's behind 0-2. Slaps that one toward Laurie. Laurie goes into a slide, cannot get it, and Eaton's going to be aboard. All right, so you saw the Eric Chavez home run, 490 feet. So this is what the White Sox say is the longest home run. Big Joe Borchard. And to his credit, it looks like he did get into that one pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a little more toward right center than
yours. It was, yeah. I've never seen that before.
You know what? It was a tie.
Tie goes to the home team.
Big Joe Borchard, quarterback at Stanford.
Eaton, we talked about the White Sox not scoring runs, and Eaton and Melky are going to be pivotal to get on base and ahead of these big guys and cause havoc and a little bit of distraction.
Well, it's really a good combination because Eaton, yeah, he's a prototypical leadoff hitter. Melky Cabrera kind of sprays the ball all over the field, and he's a switch hitter.
Yeah, he's a good hitter.
Yeah. I just thought Cabrera was one of those guys that has the ability to find the holes on the infield. He's not a big power hitter.
No, but he does have power.
Yeah.
He does have some power in there.
And there it is. Through the right side, and Eaton showing off his speed. Reddick just flips it in. So first and third, and Melky Cabrera finds that hole.
And if those two guys get going, look out.
Now batting, number 79.
This is not the situation the A's want to be in. And Melky hitting that hole with the first baseman obviously covering the bag there, and Adam walks into third.
So now it's Abreu, runners on the corners, one out. Cabrera, who had a base hit up the middle his first at bat. Good pitch there, right on the outside corner.
Yeah, I promise you, by this time's all over, the White Sox are going to be in this. They got deep rotation. Samardzija hasn't been throwing the ball yet well. The hitters haven't got going yet. It's a well put together team. They just haven't really put it all together, but you can see slowly it's starting to come together right now.
And they need to start playing better because of the way the Tigers and the Royals are playing in their division.
Yeah, that's a very good division, but they have the players, they have the horses to get it done, and they got balance through the lineup. They got speed. They got David Robertson at the end of the game.
Cabrera, decent speed at first, and there's a swing and a miss, and now it's 2.
Jesse Rare's back just goes right at him. Brave kind of coming out of his shoes a little bit. Looking to do some damage.
Roach, left-handed hitter, waits in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
What a pitch. Nasty pitch. Rare back, went right at him. Living on the corners, what Jesse does so well with all of his pitches. Probably a little bit off, but made it look good out of his hand. And it's a great job of pitching by Jesse right there.
Just had him reaching a little bit. So here's LaRoche, the man to get for Jesse Chavez. He bounced out in the first inning. Fastball away, 93 miles an hour.
And this is why Jesse's so good, because he does live on the corners. And when he misses just off on the outside part of the plate, not over the middle.
So the count 1-1. There's the breakdown for Jesse Chavez. Lots of cutters. And that's his best pitch.
Good pitch.
Vogt thought maybe it was a strike.
He wanted it. And he's having a conversation with him right now, too.
Well, he hit the target.
Yeah, and as a catcher, you have the conversation looking forward. You never look back. You never want to show up the umpire there, so.
So you just
let him
know what you think.
Yep, you whisper it under the mask and you move forward to the next pitch.
Who was a good talker as a catcher when you were playing?
There was a lot of
somebody who would work the umpire a little bit.
Yeah, yes, and it was at times I would get upset. Come on, man, you really want that pitch?
3-1 pitch is outside, and now the bases are loaded. So it'll be Avisail Garcia. What about AJ Brzezinski?
AJ made everybody mad. He's
now
still
batting.
going.
Yes, he is.
He's swinging the bat good for Atlanta.
The Braves.
Yeah.
Johnny Gomes with the Braves.
Yeah, he hit that one big home run too against us, Minnesota in the playoffs. Man, that's Billy Koch,
You're right.
if I'm correct.
Some things we try to forget about.
Yeah.
Here's Garcia. He doubled in the second. First pitch is a good one. Inside corner, first strike.
Well, that last at bat was a intentional, unintentional walk right there. You know, he made good quality pitches. When he got ahead, he wasn't going to make a mistake and go on to the next hitter here.
jumps ahead 0-2. So he's made 2 good pitches to Garcia. Fastball in and a fastball away.
2 quality pitches. And like I was talking about earlier, the ball just jumps out of his hand. And right-handers obviously have a tougher time picking them up than lefties. And that's why he made the tough pitches to LaRoche and moved on to Garcia here.
Good 0-2 pitch there by Jesse Chavez. It seems like every pitch he throws, he's got a pretty good purpose behind it.
Every pitch is a competitive pitch.
Yep.
Even that one, it's a little bit off. 0-2 pitch, very good pitch. Got him looking away. Try to open up the inside part of the plate. Let's make a good quality pitch right here.
And he made a good pitch, and Garcia just barely got a piece of it. So he's keeping it away right now. It makes you wonder, will he try to come inside at some point?
Possibly at one point. And you could tell he was, by his body, was somewhat guessing inside and reached out and fouled off that outside part of the plate.
One-two pitch is a fastball away. Eaton at third, Cabrera at second, LaRoche at first.
Everything's been hard in this at bat, so let's see if he kind of changes speed here and goes to an off-speed pitch.
Pitch, a fastball in, fouled straight back.
Yeah, he wants that one back. He had a good swing at that one. He's upset with himself. Fought off good pitches, finally got a pitch that he can handle. He's been working in and out. Last couple pitches away, comes back in, and ooh, he put on a real good swing on that one.
Lots of pitches for Jesse. 62 total, 28 this inning. 2-2 pitch, fouled high and back amongst the spectators. Youngster. All right. Look at that smile.
Oh, that's great. Look at his sisters too. Like, yeah. That's awesome.
That's it. Their night is all good. Another 2-2. Here it is. And it's a bit low.
Now, I promise you, there's something in the scouting report that says Avisail's been killing off-speed pitches because they are sticking with the game plan. We talked about this last night, having a game plan, sticking with it. This is something that they won over with Kurt Young. He's been swinging a good bat. He's probably been doing most of his damage in off-speed pitches.
So the runners will go. The bases are loaded. And that's a single to center field, and 2 runs are going to score. So Avisail Garcia throws together a heck of an at-bat, and I think he got another fastball.
Yeah, and you know that was in the scouting report. You got to go hard with this guy, work him in and out. The big league hitters, at some point, you keep doing the same thing, they will make adjustments on you. It's a big league at-bat right there. He fought off some tough pitches, finally got one he can handle. Drove in 2 runs right there. It's a great job of just picking up his lineup right there and coming up with a big knock. Came up with a big knock last night too, so you could see this kid is starting to shape out to be something special.
Well, maybe just took a little bit off his swing. Not a lot, just a little.
Yeah, and it was a pitch that he can handle a little bit. And he had a good swing on a pitch on the inside part of the plate early in that bat, and that one had caught a little bit too much of it, and he didn't miss it.
So we're tied at 2.
Still like to have seen one off-speed pitch, maybe a slider he just pulled the string on a little bit.
Put it in his mind a little bit.
Just something, different look. Give credit to him though, that was a great idea.
So here's Gillespie, runners at first and third as LaRoche was able to go all the way around to third.
He's really had to work hard this inning. He's been some tough at-bats. All started by Adam Eaton and Milky Cabrera in the top of the lineup with a Red Sox need them to do.
Fastball for a strike.
What a high stress inning like this does too is, it's going to affect him in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and maybe take something out of him a little bit. So he was kind of cruising there in the first 2 innings, and this one has really had to work.
Grounded back to Chavez, who makes a nice play. Fires to first side, retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the White Sox. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It's 2-2.
Number 10,
That's a guy you do not want to mess with. He will protect us all, Shabby. We're in good hands with that youngster. Fireworks after the game. So Danks now. It's a new ball game to pitch in. It's 2-2. Simeon, Reddick, and Butler. High pop up. Long run for Garcia into foul territory, and he caught it.
Wow.
So a heck of a play by Misael Garcia. The big fellow ran a long ways, and that'll bring up Reddick. Interesting stuff on Reddick. Fly ball percentage from last year is down. Ground ball percentage from last year to this year is up. But most important, the line drive percentage is up. So it's up a little less than 5%, which may not sound like a lot, but it is.
Yeah, and probably a stat you don't see there, which is starting to take over baseball, is exit velocity, and I promise you that's up. Because he has been swinging the bat really good, hitting balls all over the yard.
So what is exit velocity?
Well, pitchers have their velocity, and hitters off the bat have their velocity. So they're starting to keep track of that over the last probably 5-6 years.
Huh. So the velocity of the ball coming off the bat.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. Josh Reddick, ball crawler. Pitch is a bit high, and now 3-0. Reddick, after a terrific start, that's where he ranks in the American League. 3rd in triples, 4th in on base, 5th in RBIs, 5th in slugging, 6th in batting average. So he's having an all-star season so far. This is game number 38 for the A's. So he and Stephen Vogt, Marcus Semien have really carried the offense.
Yeah, held it down.
Billy Butler got off to a hot start, then went through a long slump, but now he's hot again as Reddick lines out to Abreu.
Yeah, he's hitting everything. I mean, that's a good pitch and on his hands. He's still got the barrel to it.
Billy Butler.
So Butler will hit. He hit the 2-run homer in the first inning. Keeping an eye on the Angels and the Orioles. The Angels are leading the Orioles 3-1. Top of the 9th in Baltimore. Mike Trout has hit his 10th home run in that game. So the Angels batting. I'll let you know when that goes final. But right now, Angels leading 3-1. Hits one high in the air, shallow right center. And Eaton, the center fielder, takes charge. Side retired, so Danks has a shutdown inning. And it's 2-2 A's White Sox after 3. Collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. Look at this little guy. Avengers t-shirt on, so he's got a good start. Is that a great game face or what?
It is beautiful.
Get out of my way. Hit well, left center. Burns near the wall, and he's going to have room, and he makes the catch. So Alexi Ramirez goes after the first pitch. So Ramirez will take a very slow walk back to the dugout.
Number 21, Tyler Flowers.
And that'll bring up Tyler Flowers. Astros leading the Blue Jays 6-3 in the 9th inning, and they're trying to wrap that one up. So the Astros show no signs of slowing down, and the A's will see the Astros in Houston Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on Monday night, the A's are going to see one of the Astros' top pitching prospects, who is being called up to make his major league debut, Lance McCullers Jr. Nice. His dad was a pitcher. And he is a very highly touted prospect, very high draft pick, and he's going to make his major league debut, and we're going to be there for him.
Yeah, the Astros have been patient. They've drafted well. They're starting to see some of these players make that jump to the next level, and they're all kind of doing it about the same time. And it's nice to see the Astros being relevant now.
And they are indeed relevant. This one's popped up. Canna's under it. and he makes the catch. You know what? It's interesting, though, with the Astros. Altuve's been there for a while, and they signed actually a lot of veteran guys. Bullpen and Gaddis, who's not really an older player, but and so these hotshot young prospects that they have in the minor leagues, we really haven't seen a whole lot of them yet, but they're close. Springer is here.
Right, they got a shortstop, and his name's eluding me.
Yeah,
he's coming. Correa. Yeah, he's coming.
I guess my point is they're doing this really with a fair amount of veteran guys that they sign.
Right.
And now you're going to start seeing those youngsters join this veteran group. When I say veteran, I don't mean old guys, but I mean, you know.
It reminds me of what, Billy Beane was doing when we were coming through. He always added that veteran presence. Sure. But he developed within the system.
So there will be an interesting team as time goes on. Talking about the Houston Astros. Bottom of the fourth come up. It's a 2-2 game. Nice crowd tonight. John Danks hooking up with Jesse Chavez. Danks has 4 strikeouts. He's walked 1, and he's allowed 3 hits so far. 1-1 the count to Stephen Vogt, who struck out swinging in the first inning. It's a shot foul. So the count 1-2. Outside. Angels added a couple runs in the top of the 9th, so they're now leading the Orioles 5-1 in Baltimore. Gets jammed a little bit. Skies went to shallow right down the line. And there's Garcia, the big right fielder, who grabs it. 6 in a row retired by John Danks after he walked Canna in the 2nd.
Smart move by Sanchez. Let Garcia have that one. You take that one, big guy.
Well, it's the wind is whipping pretty good now, and it's sometimes we'll look at one breeze way and it'll be blowing, the other one it won't be, but both in right field and left field the flags are moving around pretty well.
He covers a lot of ground for a big guy. I had no idea he ran that well.
Laurie had a double in the 2nd. It was a leadoff double, but could not get him around. just a bit high with a fastball. See Danks 88 miles an hour. So not a real hard throw.
Nope, just mixes his pitches, keeps the ball down, uses that changeup to keep the hitters off balance.
And it's a 4-pitch walk. So walk number 2. And now Coco hits. Coco struck
Now
out.
batting left fielder.
Goes back in the second inning.
Coco. Chris.
Coco trying to get rolling. You know, some guys when they in a slump, they go with the high pants, show the socks off. Maybe it's time for Coco to do that. Who knows? Sometimes you're a little superstitious, right?
Yeah.
You're a superstitious guy?
Yes, extremely. Extremely fragile too. You know, that was a big hit for Coco last night. Eh? You know, he's got off to that slow start. I think it was the way the A's been playing kind of led into, you know, the indecision by Gallego last night, trying to will that run home.
There's a shot just foul. Of course it's foul. That's what happened.
Of course. That ball's fair. I think Brett's moving. He might have a chance to score on that. He's taking some good swings. He's looking better. It's really tough when you miss spring training, though.
Yep. Just a couple of rehab games for Coco after the elbow surgery.
He's still working his way in. His pitchers are ready to go. They've had some starts under their belt, so he's definitely behind the 8 ball. But I tell you, the last few years, just turn on the tube. Big situation. Coco's out. Game's over.
A lot of big hits.
Game is over.
You are definitely right. He's very much a clutch hitter. Good throw. Oh, he skipped back. Takes a strike in the outside corner. So he's behind in the count. First pitch.
Yeah, Scott's been big. He's been consistent though. He's been both sides, kind of giving a little bit of a wide zone.
Rolls that one. Ramirez in the hole. We'll get the out at second, and Sanchez will hold it. So that's 2 outs. Coco now aboard at first.
No, I think ideally, if they can get Coco going, they put him back in the leadoff spot. They put Billy down in the 9th spot. You got 2 leadoff hitters back to back there, and obviously Coco with the experience, I think you'd rather have him in the leadoff hole. But Burns has been doing a nice job, playing some good defense. Got to get Coco going.
And he will at some point.
Yes.
Coco has not attempted a stolen base yet this year. He hasn't been on base a lot. Canna walked in the second inning. Two walks, 4 strikeouts now for A's. A's are 20 for 23 in stolen base attempts this year, so one of the better percentages in all of baseball. The stolen base total of 20 is 7th in the American League, so about average as far as amount of successful steals, but not getting thrown out much. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's kind of something I'd like to see them go to a little bit here. Be aggressive. Don't be afraid to make some mistakes.
I agree.
You know, we're talking about the errors. Instead of going out there trying not to make errors, you go out there, just be aggressive and not be afraid to make an error. So.
Swing and a miss. And the count 1-2.
When you look at Mark's swing, it looks like he's taking a huge swing, but really all it is this follow through that's big, and he's actually quite quick to the ball, but he's just got a long finish, and it looks like he's taking a big hack.
And that was driven to center. Eaton has to hustle back, and he gets there and he makes the catch. So a well hit ball by Canna. A's strand a runner, so we're on to the 5th. It's the A's 2 and the White Sox 2.
Mile when the Oakland A's pay homage to the history of the franchise. Each Throwback Thursday, 5,000 fans will receive a commemorative button highlighting an amazing A's player. For tickets and information, go to athletics.com/Thursday.
Top of the 5th inning. 2-2 game, and Jesse Chavez faces the top of the order. See, 77 pitches through 4 innings for Jesse. This one's popped up, but it could be playable in foul territory. Lowry's under it. He's got it. So 1 out here in the 5th. Astros hang on and win. They beat the Blue Jays at home 6-5. So Houston has won 4 in a row, and they're now 24-13. Wow. So they roll on.
When they came in here, we knew they were good. They're really starting to put it together.
Well, that's the thing. They were playing good at the time, but there was also I want to see more. And now
they weren't hitting. Yeah, they got hot. That series, they got hot, and they haven't stopped hitting since.
That's exactly right. Sogard cannot quite get it, and Melky Cabrera has his second hit. So hit number 7 for the White Sox. Here's our forward right choice, Jose Abreu. He was the Rookie of the Year last year. 6th White Sox to do that. 3rd fastest rookie to reach 30 home runs. He did it in 89 games. 2nd White Sox with 2 18-plus game hit streaks in the season. And he was 4th in the American League MVP vote. So let me think about that. He's Rookie of the Year, but he's also 4th
Yeah.
And you know, Trout and Cabrera are going to hold on the first two.
Right.
First two spots.
Oh, very impressive rookie season. But you could see why he's so good. I mean, he's had one extra base hit in the last 16 games, 15 games. He gets a 2-0 pitch. Doesn't try to do too much with it. When he starts swinging the bat good, he'll start opening it up and start driving the ball a little bit. But right now he's got a short swing, not trying to do too much damage.
Well, he's right in the prime of his career. He's 28 years old. Good on-base percentage, over 380. Struck out 131 times last year, which, well, quite frankly, for a guy like that, a big, strong power hitter, 556 at bats. I mean, that's not a huge amount. I mean, it's a getting a decent amount, but
getting to know the league too.
Yeah, that's right.
And he had a foot injury he was dealing with for a lot of that time.
They should turn two, and they do. As Ken digs it out just like that. The top of the fifth is over. So Abreu hits into the 6-3 double play. Bottom of the fifth coming up. Sogard to lead it off. A lot of youngsters tonight with the superhero theme for the fireworks. Saturday night at the Coliseum. Sogard swings at the first pitch, taps one slowly toward first. Abreu grabs it. He tags Sogard, who was trying to slide under the tag, could not do it. So that's out number one. Little size difference there.
Yeah. Kind of rolls one over there. Abreu for a big guy. That's to avoid Dennis, the pitcher, running right in front of him. That could have been ugly. Nice play by Jose.
So now to the top of the order in Billy Burns. Burns steps in. He has struck out and he has fouled out. A long at bat against Danks in the second inning. Put on a good battle, but ended up popping out. This one's driven to left. Right at Cabrera, who stops now, comes in a couple steps. So 2 outs here at the bottom of the fifth. The Rangers are leading the Indians 7-6. 7th inning in Arlington. And the Red Sox and the Mariners are tied 2-2 in the 6th inning. That's game 3 of a 4-game series. Porcello and King Felix. So it's night court at Safeco Field tonight. Felix Hernandez pitching. He is 6-0 on the year. He is trying to become the Major League's first 7-game winner. So we'll keep a close eye on the Red Sox and the Mariners. Simeon checks in the count 1-2.
You know, they kind of just throw Kershaw out there as the best pitcher in the game, bar none, which he is. He's pretty good, but you know, I think King Felix is right in that conversation.
That a hero. And the 1-2 pitch, Simeon chases, and that is 5 strikeouts for John Danks. He has settled down nicely, and this game remains tied 2-2 as we head to the 6th. They advance to the Western Conference Finals. On Tuesday, tune in to Warriors Playoff Central on Comcast Sportsnet an hour before every game. And get postgame and get Sportsnet Central all the way through the playoffs. Coverage begins on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Raz, Monty, Rado, Papa, Saint, JB, Feldy, and Fried with coverage that you expect from the authentic home of the Warriors. So Tuesday night, there's a line drive base hit to left field for Adam LaRoche. The only question is, who the Warriors going to play? We'll know tomorrow night as the Clippers and the Rockets play tomorrow afternoon in Houston. The winner of that game
now batting, number 26,
will get on a plane and fly to the Bay Area. So again, Clippers, Rockets tomorrow afternoon. And then that is who the Warriors will play on Tuesday right next door. Should be fun.
You've gone out and seen him yet?
Saw him 3 times this year.
Okay.
And it is quite a scene across the way. But it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great. Steph Curry's the real deal.
He's the deal, yeah. If you make a 3/4 court shot, it's good enough for me. Tapped down front, foul ball. So leadoff man aboard here in the 6th for the White Sox.
Even with half a toe, he moves good, doesn't he, behind there? Yep. You know, my brother told me something about him today that, you know, it just keeps on endearing me to him. And he says when he's walking around, he's limping.
He does have a little limp, yeah.
But then he goes out there and when he's on the base pass and he's giving it everything he has.
Yes, he does. But you will notice a little, he's got a little,
yeah,
limp to his gait. Who's that guy?
There's Casey.
So what's the age difference?
Let's see. How old am I? 25? What
26. Yeah.
26.
So he is younger, though, right?
Oh, he's younger. Man.
So did he follow you around? Like,
but people think that he's older. They always ask, "Is that your older brother?" And I do have.
I would say
brother,
maybe he acts older, but I don't know if that's the case. I don't think so.
He took me to a nice little sushi spot over in Alameda today, and he paid for it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Hang out with Casey a little bit more. So LaRoche will go to second. So there's 3 brothers. You're in the middle.
I'm the second. We got a sister too who just had knee surgery. So Brandy, hopefully you're recovering well. So last at bat against Avicil, he's all fastballs, and he's starting to mix in the changeup and the curveball to him now. So little confused of why one of those pitches wasn't thrown to him last at bat.
See what he throws on 3-2, and he just missed, and that was a good pitch. Changeup maybe. Yeah, didn't miss by much. Scott Berry didn't like it, so 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, it looks like he tries to backdoor a changeup there. Tries to bring it back, and Hayes didn't get the call.
So 91 pitches for Jesse. The bullpen, well, nobody's up. They're just starting to wiggle around a little bit out there. On how Castro is standing up. But at some point fairly soon, the bullpen phone will ring, and Scott Emerson will answer it. Bullpen! Because he let us know that that's how he answers the phone.
Like I said, could be he didn't know whether
we're sure if this is where I'm calling.
Weren't they supposed to go to phones? They were going to switch that up.
Big Scott?
Hey, Casey, get some sleep on that, Casey. Stop yawning.
Those are the caretakers of the bullpen right there. So 6th inning. Here's Gillespie, and I say 6th inning because I'm just wondering, would he bunt?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Rolls that one foul.
He's been starting to swing the bat a little bit better.
Gillespie singled in the 2nd, grounded out to the pitcher in the 3rd.
Super Joe giving the signs right there. Joe McEwing.
On deck is Alexi Ramirez. White Sox with a chance to take the lead here in the 6th.
Both teams really have had the pressure on pretty much the whole game.
And that one scoots away from Vogt, and the runner at second, LaRoche, moves to third. Garcia stayed at first. He hesitated just a little bit.
Yeah, and that had to do with the running mistake that he had in the first inning, where he was caught in between and
don't want to have it happen.
No, so a little indecision right there. He probably should have been standing up on second.
So it's the second wild pitch in the inning.
Yeah, he set up outside and kind of pulled it to the inside part of the plate.
So now there is action in the A's bullpen as Edward Mujica starts to throw. Pretty good take by Gillespie. Not a lot of power. Sprays the ball around. Started his career. A high draft pick of the Giants, and then was traded to the White Sox. See it dives back in.
The White Sox have done a really good job making Jesse work tonight for everything, laying off tough pitches.
So 2-1. Garcia inches off first. Laurie, the third baseman, on the edge of the grass. 8 hits in the game for the White Sox. The A's have just 3. The A's haven't had a hit since the 2nd inning. There's a line shot. Canna grabs it, and Garcia gets back. Nice play by Mark Canna.
It's a great job of base running right there.
More often than not, that's a double play.
Yeah, and this ball is smoked. Great job by Avasil.
Now batting.
Nice diving play by Mark. Try to double him up right there. Good quick reflexes. Just out of his reach.
So here's Alexi Ramirez. Now 1 out, and now a double play gets you out of the inning. Changeup drops in for a strike. Ramirez is grounded to second and hit a fly ball to deep center field. Simeon has it. Flips to Soga. Double play. So Jesse Chavez, heck of a job. He gets out of the inning, and the White Sox do not score. So bottom of the 6th coming up. Heart of the order coming up for the Athletics. It's a 2-2 game.
Butler taking a fastball the other way in the 1st inning for a 2-run home run. Get the A's on the board. Avisail Garcia with a 9-pitch at bat. All fastballs. 2 RBI single right there. Getting the job done for the White Sox.
Well, Jesse does a good job, though. Gets the big double play to end the top of the 6th. See if the A's can get him a couple runs. Reddick to lead it off. Reddick a fly ball to left and a line out to first. Rodriguez gets up. Strike on the outside corner.
You know, the A's are getting the starting pitching. You know, that's one thing that happened getting, you know.
Good enough, right?
What we were talking about last night, another quick pitch right there by Danks. God, that makes you mad as a hitter.
Yeah, it seems like we've seen it a little more this year. I don't know if that's the case or not, but how much does the quick pitch screw up your timing?
Yeah, you know, the commissioner was talking about maybe getting rid of the shifts. I'd get rid of the quick pitch if it was up to me, but very difficult. You just never know when he's going to do it. But pitching's all about throwing the hitter off and his timing. And
so there's no, and since you just stopped playing, last year. There's no unwritten rule about quick pitch or anything like that.
It's part of the game. It's been going on forever.
But it's going to hack off a hitter.
Oh, it makes you so mad. And you think less of the pitcher for him doing it, but you know what? Whatever he's got to do to get you out.
Well, he doesn't care. He's just going to chuckle at you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Josh said something to him on the way back, but Danksy kind of looked at Josh, and I don't know if there was some chatter going on right there. But yeah, as a hitter, it's frustrating.
But there is a definite advantage if you can pull it off you're the pitcher.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's another pitch. Another thing for the hitter to think about.
Well, and I would imagine that what makes it difficult is, like you said, the element of surprise.
Yeah.
You may do it once every 20 pitches.
Right. And one pitch can swing in at bat tremendously. So even if it's a nice play.
Gillespie stayed down on it and throws out Billy Butler.
Yeah, Billy's been taking some good swings today. Over the last couple of days, he kind of looks like he's been fighting his swing a little bit, trying to guide the ball, but today he's kind of letting it go.
Now batting the catcher.
A 3-1 changeup, came back with a 3-2 changeup, and Gillespie making a nice play.
So 2 outs for Vogt. First pitch to Vogt, just a touch outside from Danks. Danks pitch count sitting at 87. Vogt with a strikeout and fly ball to right field, and another close pitch. Actually, that was about the same spot.
Yeah, it's a quick pitch too.
Scott Berry says no. A little off the plate. Missed again. 3-0. Red Sox have taken a 3-2 lead over the Mariners at the top of the 6th. Still batting against Felix Hernandez, who's in a world of trouble in that 6th inning. Now it's 3-1. Indians have tied up the Rangers 7-7 in the 7th. Vogt out in front.
That's another thing I hated as a hitter. That 3-0 pitch. It's almost most of the time, if it's close, going to be called a strike, even though it may be a ball. Gets the pitcher right back into the count.
Gillespie cannot quite get it. Bounces off the tarp.
We saw Donaldson go into that tarp a lot, didn't we?
Well, we did. We lost him for a split second on one play.
I promise you, Laurie would have been on that tarp on that play.
Donaldson hit right in between the tarp and the wall, and he had the baseball. It was so cool they made a bobblehead out of it.
Oh, did they really? With the tarp?
Yeah, where he was standing up, just kind of coming up from being behind the tarp.
I didn't know that.
Cool. Breaking ball, Danks missed. He's upset. Vogt says, I'll take it. So walk number 3 issued by Danks to go along with his 5 strikeouts. So here's Laurie. A double and a walk. So Laurie's been on base twice. Bouncer right side. Sanchez has it. Side retired. So we are through 6 on fireworks night at the Coliseum. It's a 2-2 game between the A's and the White Sox.
25th for a special holiday matinee as the A's take on the Detroit Tigers at 1:05 p.m. That afternoon, 15,000 fans will get an A's road cap presented by Comerica Bank. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
Number 33, Fernando Rodriguez.
The big head race, which we enjoy every home game. Cape Town tonight.
How does Ricky ever lose a race?
Well, he loses more than he should, I think.
Pulls a hammy, maybe?
Yeah, I can't believe Raleigh's that fast.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for Chicago.
We don't know who won tonight. I don't think Ricky won tonight. Can't be easy running with a big head. Can you believe that I didn't win?
That's beautiful.
There's a small part of Ricky that's saying, no, I'm a little hacked off that I didn't win. No, really. I'm a Hall of Famer.
That's
I was
right.
a base stealer. How can I not win? And I think he's got a legitimate argument.
You know, my first year I was called up. I was scared to death of walking in the clubhouse with him in there. He ended up being a great teammate.
So you were teammates.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
Yep.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Fernando Rodriguez comes in. Pitched last night, gave up a couple of runs through 15 pitches.
Yeah, I had a. I'll tell you a quick story real quick after this.
2 pitches, driven to right. Reddick's right there.
Yeah, my first time walking into the clubhouse, they set me up. I open the doors, I walk in, and McGuire's acting like he's walking out, and he pretends like I hit him in the forehead with the door. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I just hit Mark McGuire in the face.
Well, that's quite a production. So they set that all up.
Oh, they set it all up. Oh yeah. Yeah, but Ricky was great. It was when I was called up in '98, and you know, being a big A's fan growing up, obviously, and Ricky being one of the best baseball players on the planet ever. We used to emulate him all the time in the backyard. A little home run trot.
Sure.
Pop the jersey.
That's right. Pop the jersey.
Let the visiting dugout know where you're at.
Take the long way home, right?
You can see Sanchez has got the fluorescent batting gloves that Ricky used to sport back in the day. Those are kind of making a comeback right now.
He was probably one of the first to sport them, too.
I'm pretty sure that he was.
1-1 to Sanchez. Near the bag at second. Simming has it. And that's the second out. So Sanchez 0 for 3. And now to the top of the order, Adam Eaton. You look at the crowd tonight, 28,445. Homestand finale tomorrow. Jeff Samardzija is going to pitch against the Athletics. Samardzija and Kazmir, good matchup there. Eaton. The ball checks up, and the throw is down the right field line, and that's trouble. The bullpen scatters. Sogard ends up picking it up, and Eaton's going to be at third. So a good bunt, a drag bunt, and the ball kind of checked up, kind of like a golf ball.
A little golf shot. Some backspin on it. Rodriguez got to it nicely. Getting out of the box quickly. He got to the ball real good. He was going to be safe regardless of the throw. Fielded it cleanly.
Number 53.
Just a good play by Adam. And Mark can't do anything about that throw right there. He had the 4-finger grip. It looked like it sailed on him.
And sometimes you'll get the runner running on the infield grass and they'll be called out. But you saw he was right on the white line.
Yeah.
So Go ahead, run at third, 2 outs. Melky Cabrera steps in. He's 2 for 3. And there's a base hit left field, and the White Sox lead. So Cabrera, a big-time clutch hit, and he is 3 for 4. And that's what he does, Eric. He doesn't try to do too much.
Right.
Just inside out in that pitch. It was a pretty good pitch by Rodriguez.
Right.
In a little bit.
Yeah, and this is why this team is going to be really good moving towards the summer. I meant you got 2 outs. Got the pitcher cruising. Eaton lays down a good bunt. Bad throw. He ends up on third. Milky comes up with a big hit. But that's why Eaton and Milky are so pivotal to get on base in front of these big boys.
And an error. Hurts the Athletics.
And an error. What's that, 13 in a row? 14 in a row?
13 games in a row with an error in the 7th inning. It's just the strangest thing. Look at the ERA in the 7th inning. 7.30. Hard to figure out.
Frustrating.
He's now with 38 errors. And this is game number 38. So the lefty Abad starts to throw.
I think the air thing kind of creeps into, it's kind of a black cloud, and you kind of go out there and you're trying not to make an error, and that's not the way to go about it. You want to be aggressive and forget about what's happened in the past and just go out and make some good plays.
1-0 to Jose Abreu. But you know, we talked about it on the post-game show last night on the A-Team, and Ray Fosse made a good point. He said the error is one thing. What you allow to happen right after the error is another thing. And the pitcher can get out of the inning, you know. I mean,
but I mean, how many times you want to put your pitchers in that position, you know? So they're going to have to clean that up. And it's not. It's kind of all over. You know, the series here with Houston, the Sun, there's a couple drop balls by the outfielders, a couple pass balls.
Tonight, an error in the pitcher.
Yeah, and we talked about Simeon. You know, he's going to make his errors, and you know, as the season moves on, we just want to see him moving forward in the right direction. You know, we've seen some good things from him, and Sogard, he's played great. Billy's been good in the outfield. They just need to clean it up a little together as a group. You know, we wonder why they're in close ball games. They don't win. They don't close it out. As pitching and defense is so pivotal.
1-2 to Abreu. Cabrera lead at first. That one's belted left center field, and nobody's going to get it. It one hops the wall. Melky Cabrera is being waved home, and Melky Cabrera is going to score without a throw. So a couple of 2-out RBI hits, but like last night, and the White Sox lead 4-2.
Yeah, and this is what you can't let happen. I mean, you get Abreu up again. You don't want him to get extra swings in a game, and he gets a pitch up and doesn't miss it. Milky off with the swing of the bat, and you know, unlike last night where the A's got that bounce off the wall right to him, that one kind of skips up in the air and allows Milky to come around and score.
So Rodriguez is done, and it'll be Fernando Abad coming in to face Adam LaRoche.
property of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
The White Sox have scored twice here in the top of the 7th, so they lead 4-2. And Abad comes in to face LaRoche. Left-handed hitters hitting .375 against Fernando Abad.
Yeah, that's not good. He's the lone lefty in the pen with O'Flaherty down. So
9 for 24. That's hard to believe because Abad
last year was so good, right?
To have nasty stuff.
I know his velocity's been down a little bit. Last year was 94 to 96, and he kind of stays around the 91-92 range now. Kind of wonder what the reason for that is, but he's pivotal. He needs to get it going, and he's got an opportunity to redeem himself from last night facing the same hitter.
Well, last night he fell behind 2-0, and LaRoche he drilled a double.
He had to pipe him a heater, and he did not miss it. Pretty swing by Adam.
So this time the count is 1-1 after 2 pitches. Slider away. Red Sox leading the Mariners 4-2 now, top of the 7th. So they knocked Felix Hernandez out of the game. So Felix will not get his 7th win tonight. Roach with that very wide open stance, but he closes it as the pitches come. You see that front leg close up. Took a lot off that time. 70 miles per hour. Catches the outside corner. So 2-2.
Yeah, all breaking pitches to this at bat right here. Let's see what he wants to do right here. Might as well go back to it.
A good take by LaRoche. He took it like he knew it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very good take.
Mahika is ready to go in the A's bullpen, the right-hander. Three-two pitch, and it's hit hard. Foul, scooped up by Cannon, who's playing very close to the line. Indians and Rangers 7-7. That game has gone to the 8th inning. In Texas. Got him with a slider. So tonight Abad does the job. He gets LaRoche, but a couple of big hits. Cabrera and Abreu, 2-out hits. So the White Sox lead 4-2 as we have reached the 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th. A's now trailing 4-2. Dank still out there. And as I look at my score sheet, Eric, I see that the A's have not had a hit since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, 2 walks.
Yep. Laurie's leadoff double in the 2nd. That's the last hit. So Danks, give him credit.
Yep.
Settled in nicely.
Yeah, it looks like that new windup's starting to pay off a little bit for him.
3 walks and 5 strikeouts for Danks, but sitting at 96 pitches. So a lefty and a righty loosening up.
Yeah, I saw both those guys last night.
That's 7 innings that Danks pitched in his last start. That is the most innings he has pitched this year. Trying to get there again tonight. Fastball is high. Crisp, Canna, and Sogard is the bottom 3 in the order. Coco dropped down to the 7th spot tonight. Just a bit high and maybe a little bit inside.
That's 2 heaters in a row. You're almost guaranteed to get something off speed here.
And that one hooked toward left. Cabrera on the move. Got a good jump and he makes the catch. So Coco is 0 for 3. 1 out here in the 7th. And that'll bring up Canna.
Now batting first baseman.
Starting to show little signs of getting that swing going. Just had some bad luck tonight. She missed that double down the line. Put a good swing on a changeup right there. So trying to get him going. He's going to be real pivotal for the A's moving forward. He's frustrated.
First pitch, curveball drops in for a strike to Canna, who has walked and hit a fly ball to center field. A's last night with 12 hits, a couple of doubles, a triple, a home run. Got a home run tonight as well, but not much of anything else.
You can't fault the A's for the effort. The effort's there. It's just the results aren't there right now. And these boys are working hard though.
Flowers hustling over. Flowers cannot quite get it. Drops in that walkway. If Darren Bush wouldn't have moved, he would have hit him. Bushy says, I'm out of here.
Marcus Jensen there too.
It's a good game face by Bushy today. Trying to get his offense going.
Yeah. They've been doing a good job throughout the year. They're scoring runs. Offensively, they're ranking up there. Offense has not been the problem.
Fastball in at 87 miles an hour. And that one on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 6 for Danks.
Looks like he got the call on this one. Flowers sets up inside.
Now batting second baseman.
Yeah, that's off the plate, and he just hit a spot. Yo, that's on the white line right there. Never like to see that as a hitter. Bad break for the A's right there.
So 2 away. Danks has retired 10 of the last 11. And the only one he did not retire was the walk to vote last inning. Sogard bunts it. It'll be the first baseman, Abreu, who grabs it. Side retired. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Danks, and we're headed to the 8th. In Oakland, it's the White Sox 4 and the A's 2.
50,000 fans will receive the one-of-a-kind Stephen Vogt referee bobblehead driven by Chevrolet, which features audio of his referee calls and the famous fan chant. If you believe in Stephen Vogt, get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
We believe. We're believers. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Mahika comes in. Mahika facing Garcia, Gillespie, and Ramirez. Combined numbers for Mahika. Pitch, line to right, and that's a hit. Okay, I think we're impressed with Eviseo Garcia, and he looks like a different player this year than we've seen the last couple of years, and maybe it's just health.
Yeah.
He got hurt early last year.
And most of his damage, most of his hits are going to the right side of the field, so you'd love to see that.
So that is hit number 12 tonight for the White Sox. 3 hits for the A's. So that'll bring up Gillespie, who is 1 for 3. Mentioned the Astros beating the Blue Jays earlier 6-5. The Astros hit 3 home runs in that game. Carter, Gaddis, and Gonzalez. Feldman got the win. Gregerson got the save. Feldman had 10 strikeouts tonight in 6 2/3 innings. Folks are starting to come out a little bit. 27,000 at Minute Maid tonight. So that's a nice crowd.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Due to
entertaining team. I know we talk about them a lot, but they deserve the attention.
At the end of the 8th inning and through
Angels beat the Orioles 6-1. Angels get their 5th straight win. Trout freeze home run. Shoemaker the winner. Swing and a miss. Pitching the dirt. Yankees beat the Royals 5-1. Sabathia got his 2nd win. He beat Duffy. A home run for Alex Rodriguez, his 10th this year. And now 664 in his career. So you played with Alex.
Yeah.
And we know he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Some of it of his own doings.
Right.
But are you surprised at the success he's had this year?
Yes. Yes. You know, I saw him a lot during spring training, and he looked very healthy in spring. He's just carried it through the season, but you know, I think even Alex would tell you he'd be a little bit surprised. I mean, nobody knows what you're going to get after missing a year of baseball. And you know, I talked to him a little bit. He said the only pitching he saw was Freddie Garcia threw some light batting practice to him, you know, a few weeks before spring training. So
Laurie has it. He'll go to 2nd out there. Back to 1st. Not quite in time. So fielder's choice. Gillespie's aboard. Garcia's retired.
nice play by Brett. No chance to turn double play. Make sure 1. Go ahead and give it the courtesy throw. See what happens. They almost got him.
All right.
Gillespie just beat it. So 1 out with a runner at first. And here's Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez 0 for 3. The ground outs and a flyout. One of those grounds out was a double play. Got a pinch runner, Gordon Beckham, running for Gillespie at first. So Beckham, who actually last night came in the game for defense late, and that's what he will do after pinch running tonight. Laurie leaps, he's got it, then it pops out of his glove, and everybody's safe. It'll be a hit.
Yeah, and I was talking about Alexi, how tough it is to play defense against him. Brett was playing him in. Gardner gets the bunt on the grass, and he was just able to sneak it over Brett's glove there.
Well, that play can't be any fun either as a third baseman, because even if you do catch it, your momentum's going away from any bag you may want to throw to.
Yeah, I meant I would have just loved to see Brett make that throw, because he's got a good arm. So
he would have let it rip.
Yeah.
So another hit, 13 hits now for the White Sox. So Mahika's got to work himself out of a jam here as he faces Tyler Flowers. First pitch to Flowers, fastball away.
You gotta wonder if this continues, what the plan of attack is. You know, do you stay the course and hopefully the guys turn it around, or you make some big bold moves, try to change things up? It's going to be interesting the next few weeks.
And now it's 2-0. Tigers beat the Cardinals interleague 4-3 in 10 innings. Miguel Cabrera hit a home run. It was career home run number 400. So congratulations to Cabrera. Beltre from the Rangers hit career home run number 400. And now Miguel Cabrera does it. It was his 10th home run this year.
He's the best hitter on the planet.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Trout's the best all-around player. But I think the most dangerous hitter has got to be Miguel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one right there. 2-2 the count. Wouldn't it be nice to never take a swing and pull off a baseball like that? Never pulls it.
He really is amazing. And the one thing that he keys on, though, the one focus point for him is having two eyes on the baseball, seeing the baseball. More than his swing, more than anything, he always talks about seeing the baseball. And I think too many times as hitters, we try to worry about our swings too much. And the eyes are the gateway to success.
Sure.
Defensively, offensively.
Sounds so simple, right? Keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, and hitting is not simple, and Cabrera makes it look simple. You know, I don't know if you got to see this kid Chris Bryant hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah. Oh.
From the Cubs. Took him a little while to hit his first home run, but
he's got 4 in 7 games.
He's starting to hit them now. Sweet Expos hat. Kind of a collector's item.
Yeah. I like that beanie right there too. Could have used that last night. There's some good young talent going around the league right now. It's exciting for baseball.
A little bit outside, 3-2.
Got Giancarlo Stanton hitting balls out of stadiums.
Yeah, what was the distance tonight? 400. Was it 484? Home running it.
What a specimen.
Probably just got it off the end a little bit.
And Miami Park is not an easy park to hit home runs in.
3-2 pitch. High fastball, and Flowers swings and misses. So 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning.
It's a good riding fastball by Mahika. Just challenges him up in the zone, and Flowers goes down for a second K of the game. Tough pitch.
So here's Carlos Sanchez for his 4th at bat. He's grounded out twice and hit a fly ball to left. First pitch off speed and a good one. Twins beat the Rays today 6-4. The Twins played great. Twins are now 21-16 out here.
Are they really?
21-16.
You gotta think that Torrey Hunter has a big factor in that. Paul Molitor.
Twins trying to be relevant in that AL Central, and so far they have been. So 0-2, Mahika trying to get out of the jam with Beckham at second and Ramirez at first. Pitch slowly towards Simeon, straightens up, throws, and Canna hung on. It was a close play at first, and Canna, top of that, had to dig it out. So the White Sox do not score. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's Chicago 4 and the A's 2. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. White Sox 4 runs and 13 hits. The A's 2 runs and 3 hits. They've made an error that cost them a run. Danks very good. 7 innings. Garcia 3 hits. Jesse Chavez also good tonight. And the A's scored early. Billy Butler with a home run in the very first inning for their only 2 runs. So the A's still have a couple cracks at the White Sox. So Beckham now at third. And Zach Duke is the new pitcher. So the lefty who got the save last night, he had to work for it though.
Yeah.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So the numbers for Duke. Check swing by Burns. He did not go around.
A's need Billy to get on base here and start causing some havoc. Start putting pressure on the defense. They've been asleep for the last 4 or 5 innings.
Bunt attempt to the backstop. And Duke was on the mound last night when Coco hit the ball. Dan Otero starts to throw.
Yeah, and we were kind of questioning why David Robinson wasn't even in the game yesterday, and it'll be interesting to see if he's up tonight, and if he's not, there's definitely a physical issue going on.
Exactly. Simeon to follow, and then Reddick for the A's here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch hit up the middle. Sanchez.
Oh, wow.
Barehand throw, not in time.
What an effort.
Although Sanchez grabbed it with his bare hand, and he almost got Burns.
Wow. I don't care if you're an A's fan or not. You got to appreciate that effort right there. He breaks Billy's bat. He's getting down the line. Sanchez snaps it, jump throws, reminiscent of the Derek Jeter throw. Just a great effort right there. Plants his foot, strong throw. Didn't get the out, but you gotta like the effort.
So he just figured, I can't get it with my glove. I'll just reach with my.
Yeah, and they say he's an offensive guy more than a defensive guy, but that is pretty good right there.
See, he thought about the glove and then realized it was nasty.
Bare hand, athletic play.
So hit number 4.
Really got him going now.
Shot to right. That's going to get down for a hit. Burns is going to try for third. Garcia's throw is cut off. And the A's have first and third. Nobody out. Second hit for Simeon.
I meant the speed of Burns right there. That was everything. He had to wait. Nice job of hitting by Simeon here, taking the ball the other way. Billy not sure if that was going to fall in front of Garcia. He had to wait a minute. And then he turns on the Jets. I don't know why he's looking back. There's no need to do that. Just keep going, Billy. A's got up the guy they want.
And it's Reddick. Reddick tonight has hit a fly ball to left. He's lined to first and he's popped to short. Jennings, the other left-hander, is up again. Reddick takes a fastball for a strike. Jennings, Duke, Carroll, and Petrichka were the 4 pitchers used last night. Duke is out there again tonight, and he's in trouble. Grounded. Sanchez flips with the glove, throw to first, and they got him. The run comes in to score. That's Burns. But it's a 4-6-3 double play, and another nifty play by Carlos Sanchez. He shoveled it to Ramirez with his glove.
Well, one play, he doesn't need a glove. He uses his bare hand. This play,
he doesn't need his hand.
Very nice play. Back-to-back plays. Big double play for the White Sox right there.
So the A's have cut it to 4-3. So Duke is done. Chicha coming in, and we'll be back. So it's a 4-3 game now in the bottom of the 8th.
To you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Well, the A's got a run in here, but it came on a double play, so they're 2 outs, 4-3. And Jake Petrichka comes in, and he will face Butler. Petrichka pitched in last night's game, faced just one hitter, 5 pitches, gave up a hit, and that was it. So he's back out there tonight. He's got one job, and that's to try to get Billy Butler. And Robertson is lightly throwing out of the bullpen. See Jennings, the left-hander, he's ready. Well, it's not out of the question then for Petrichka. You either get this guy,
oh yeah,
or you're out.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Because Stephen Vogt would be next. 2-0 is well off the plate inside, and now it's 3-0. And that one Anthony's first strike. Bounced foul, and now it's full count. So Petrichka is able to come back after the 3-0 count.
Yeah, Billy the last couple of days been taking the ball the other way. This one he lets eat. Gets a fastball out, drives it over the right center field fence. Get the A's on the board, 2-0 early.
Pitch, here it is, and it's bounced foul again. So Petrichka, as we saw last night, even though just one hitter, a hard sinker that runs down and into those right-handed hitters.
Yeah, both him and Carroll have some pretty good run on that sinker.
Up the middle, center field, the base hit. So Billy Butler keeps the inning alive. That's the 3rd hit in the inning for the A's. And now Stephen Vogt will hit, not before Sam Fuld pinch runs. And Robin Ventura's up out of the dugout, and he has made the call. So he wants his other left-hander, Dan Jennings. Some similarities to last night.
Yeah.
So full pitch running. Petrichka faces one hitter again tonight and gives up a hit. Join us tomorrow as the A's wrap up this series and the homestand. It's the White Sox. There's your pitching matchup. Jeff Samardzija and Scott Kazmir, a couple of guys that were all-stars last year. Kazmir's pitching great. Samardzija struggling a little bit his first year with the White Sox. Our coverage begins at 12:30 with A's pregame live. Make sure you join us for that. The home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet. So Fuld is the pinch runner. Butler's out. And it's Jennings to face Vogt. First pitch, fastball away. Jennings pitched last night as well. He's making his 14th appearance. The breakdown for Stephen Vogt, he's hitting .250 against left-handed pitching. He's hitting .353 versus right-handed pitching. Overall, sitting at .330. Missed again outside, so now Vogt ahead in the count 2-0.
Yeah, I think that there's one hole in the A's offense. It's that right-handed OPS facing left-handed pitchers. Most of the damage has come from left-handed hitters in the A's lineup.
And that's a base hit left field. Vogt shoots one the other way. And Melky kicks it around a little bit, but Fold stays at second. So 4 hits in the inning.
Yeah, Steven does a good job of just staying on this ball, hitting it the other way. Set up inside, he came in, hit a spot. Steven just pulled his hands in and slapped it the other way.
Robert Ventura's coming out, and he's making the call. He wants his closer right now. David Robertson's going to come in, and he's going to ask him to get 4 outs. So it's the 4th pitcher of the inning for the White Sox. Tonight at 10:30 on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Highlights and clubhouse reaction from this A's White Sox game. And for the Warriors, well, they're going to get set to move on to the Western Conference Final, just waiting for an opponent. And the Preakness highlights and analysis. They ran that race in a downpour. Fallon Smith and Henry Wolford were hosts. So the A's continue to make it interesting in the late innings. They're doing it again here in the 8th. They've got 4 hits. Sandwiched right in the middle of those 4 hits is a double play. A run is in. And now they have a chance to tie it. So the White Sox are going to the closer. That's David Robertson. David Robertson, 3-0, very good ERA. He's 7 for 8 in save opportunities. He's always been a guy who strikes out a bunch of guys. You were with him in New York. Good stuff, huh?
He's got that invisible fastball. It's a cutter, and it's in the low 90s, 90 to 91. It's got a good second gear to it where it jumps on the hitter in the latter part of the way to the plate, and a good curveball.
So the first pitch to Laurie is a little bit low. So fold at second, vote at first. So Laurie facing Robertson, old foes from the AL East. And there's a good pitch right down around the knees, 90 miles an hour.
And you can see it doesn't light up the radar gun. It's only 90, but it's coming out at the hitter. The hitter looks like it's like 95 to the hitter.
Good breaking ball there. Now it's 1-2. Robertson with the big free agent contract to leave the Yankees in. Signed with the White Sox.
Here's that devastating curveball, 12-6. Going straight down. Starts in the zone. Brett thinks it's a strike and ends up out of the zone. He can pretty much throw either pitch right here. Go with that cutter out or that curveball that'll bounce in front of the plate.
With the breaking ball, no swing. Last year with the Yankees, his only year as the closer, 39 saves for Robertson.
Came back with that curveball. Brett did a good job of recognizing it this time, laying off of it.
Sanchez trying to keep Fold somewhat close at second base. He is the tying run. 2-pitch, here it is. Fastball close, but a bit off the plate. Full count. That'll help the A's runners to take off.
Goes back to that cutter, just misses on the outside part of the plate. More than likely going to go back to that cutter again.
Runners go, and the ball's hit to center field, but right at Eaton, and Eaton grabs it, side retired. So the A's get a run on 4 hits. We're going to the 9th. It's now 4-3 White Sox.
Celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
9th inning. White Sox with a 4-3 lead. A's go to the bullpen and bring in Dan Otero. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Otero 2-2, ERA of 4.40. And he gets to the top of the White Sox order. This is the group that got it started in the 7th after 2 were out. The Indians came back and beat the Texas Rangers. Rangers had an 8-7 lead going to the 9th inning. They brought in their closer, Neftali Feliz. And Indians tied it at 8, and then Jason Kipnis hit a 2-run homer to make it 10-8, and that's the final. So the Rangers let one slip away. Simeon has it. Quick throw to first in time to get eaten. Wow.
Yeah, very nice play by Marcus right here. He's made some throws tonight that wasn't exactly smooth, but he lets someone go there and throws a strike right over to Mark. He's a quick runner going down first base.
So here's Cabrera, who has had a big night. He's 3 for 4. Got 3 singles, 2 runs scored, and a big RBI. His RBI in the 7th gave the White Sox a 3-2 lead at the time. That game up in Seattle, the Red Sox are trying to close it out. Hara is in. Red Sox leading 4-2. Oisi throwing for the White Sox.
Hector Noesi. Why is he up?
He's just getting
some work in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put him in the bullpen a week ago.
Down the left field line, Coco into foul territory, and Coco made the catch.
Very nice, Coco. Go get it.
And he's made some good plays in left field the last week or so.
Yeah. Went a long way for that ball. Kind of stuck his glove out there, jumps into the wall, kind of turns his back to brace for the contact. Thank goodness the wall did knock it out of his glove right there.
When you want to get that wrist tucked away too.
Yeah, everything.
He did that.
Give the wall your backside.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 9th, and here's Jose Abreu. Abreu is 2 for 4. Knocked in a run with a double in the 7th inning. Otero's a better sinker tonight. That one had pretty good downward movement.
It'd be nice for him to come get a clean inning right here.
And it will not be a clean inning. Abreu got hit twice last night, and he gets hit again tonight. So the White Sox have a 2-out base runner here in the 9th.
Now batting.
This one gets away from Danny here. 3rd time that Abreu's been hit in this series, and as he's going up the first base line, Danny kind of apologizes. He knows he was hit twice yesterday. Just above the kneecap right there.
And of course it got Stephen Vogt as well.
2 for 1.
Well, they said Jose Abreu is a very nice guy, and we just saw it right there. He's the one who got hit.
Yeah.
But he checked to see if Vogt was okay.
Yeah.
And he said Dan Otero tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here's LaRoche on the outside corner for a strike. That game's a final now. The Red Sox beat the Mariners 4-2. Ortiz and Sandoval homered for Boston. So the Red Sox have taken 2 of the first 3 in that series. 1 more tomorrow. Well, the Mariners now 16-20, so they keep trying to fight, get back to that 500 mark. Now 4 games under. Roach went around. A lot of movement there from Otero.
Yeah, Danny with that low 3/4, getting that late run. Got Adam to expand the zone.
Tried it again, so keeping it away from LaRoche.
A changeup right there. We don't want to see that guy come up to the plate.
Top foul in the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Crisp, Canna, and Sogar. And that's David Robertson who got the final out in the 8th inning. So he's going to have to go back out there and get 3 more outs. Pitch, tap to first, it's fair, and Canna grabs it. Couple steps backward to the first base side, retired. So Coco to lead it off. A's need 1 to tie and 2 to head on out of here with a win.
Left-handed starter Johnny Danks gave up the early home run to Billy in the first inning. Settled down, mixes pitches, change speeds with his new hybrid windup. That's 2 quality starts for him back to back, and that's a good sign for the Chicago White Sox.
Number 4, Coco Crisp.
So bottom of the 9th, Robertson out there. And Coco stepping in. Good looking uniforms there. So Coco, a strikeout. Reached on a fielder's choice and a fly out to left. He's 0 for 3.
He's had some really good swings tonight, though.
First pitch is a breaking ball, a little bit inside. The White Sox used 4 pitchers in the 8th inning. The final one was Robertson. That one at the knees, first strike. It was Duke, Petrichka, Jennings, and Robertson in that 8th inning after Danks went 7. outside corner. So you're right there. Not huge velocity. 91, 92.
They call it the invisible fastball. It's like you look at it and that one was straight, but it just kind of locks up the hitters, and when it gets that cutter up in the zone, it's almost unhittable.
And he's a major strikeout guy.
Yeah.
Look at,
and it's only 2 pitches. It's cutter, curveball, and both of them are plus pitches. But the velo is just average, but it plays out. It's got that late life to it.
So 2-2. Coco trying to get a ball. Set up outside. Foul straight back. Defense is straight away. So Coco too shallow in the outfield. That one's hit in the air. Left field. Cabrera goes back and he grabs it. Coco now 0 for 4 as he heads back to the dugout. 1 out for Canna.
Now batting first baseman, number 20, Mark Canna.
Canna with a walk, a fly ball to center, and a strikeout. Canna, like Coco Crisp, is struggling hitter right now. Canna 0 for his last 12. But power, plenty of power to tie this thing up with 1 swing. Sogard is your on-deck hitter. And no, he's not batting right-handed. He's just getting Clipper just in case. Good breaking
Nasty.
ball. I think that's the first time we've seen that type of breaking ball. Very sharp.
Ooh. Just starts it right at belt high and ends up down out of the zone. That's why he's got such a high strikeout rate.
So Canna behind 0-2. With that curveball again blocked nicely by Flowers. So the crowd looking for something to get roaring about.
Fired up for the fireworks.
He's had 4 hits in that 8th inning, but double play hurt them. They scored 1 run.
This is some superhero magic.
1-2 pitch, fastball, good swing. The A's with 7 hits. White Sox have 13.
We're talking about these close ball games that the A's are losing, and hopefully that air stands very tall right now.
They always do, especially when you're struggling, and I guess maybe the reason you're struggling is because you're making errors.
Yep.
So,
a little bit of both.
Sounds like a vicious cycle, doesn't it?
Look, I mean, these guys they're pulling, they're working hard. I mean, it's just not going their way right now.
Down and away, so the count even down. Setting up inside, and it's hit high in the air, shallow right. Garcia grabs it. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. So here's Sogard.
Now batting, second baseman, number 28.
Sogard, a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. So the last hope for the A's, he's got to get on somehow. First pitch is a fastball, 92 miles an hour, right there for a strike. Robertson with those pant legs up high. Did that with the Yankees as well.
Maybe sports science can dabble into that, why a 90-mile-an-hour fastball can look like 95. Huh. And it can work the other way. You can have a guy throwing 98 coming in about 90. Huh. Yeah, and soft.
That's what makes baseball great, because that's just an unanswered question.
It is.
I mean, you just don't know.
But we have answers for everything nowadays.
And there's that breaking ball, sharp, good downward bite, and it's 1-2.
We almost have too much answers. He's just had a real good curveball tonight. He's sharp. He's had 2 days rest.
So Sogard trying to fight. 1-2 pitch. Taken. So 23 pitches thrown by Robertson, including coming in last inning to get that final out.
Let's hope he gets something middle in, because he's been handling that the whole year.
Looks like they're coming in. And it's hit in the air. Long run for Cabrera, long run for Eaton, and it's going to be Eaton who grabs it, and that's how this ball game ends. So another 1-run loss for the Athletics. They are 1-13 in 1-run games. That is very, very hard to believe. So the final score tonight, it's the White Sox 4 and the Athletics 3. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Kelly Johnson and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.